Here's our oil level. Not good. Well, it's okay. It's still in the operating range, but it used all this oil within a couple of 100 miles. Welcome to Donna Shawn Lawn Care Hair Salon. I'm making this video talking about the Ford F-250 that I own. It's a 2015 extended cab. And I want to talk about some of the problems that I've been having with this truck. Well, really the one problem, aside from the little dents and dings, for a new truck, it's not cool to have scratches and stuff. But one of the problems that I had since I bought this truck was oil consumption. And I've been looking online, and apparently it's a pretty common thing. So the problem is, from what I've been reading online, it's the 2015 F-250s built in 2014, and some built in 2015 have an oil consumption problem. And basically what they say is happening is the right side valve cover, where the crankcase ventilation is, that tube, I'm thinking way in the back, there's a baffle. There's something wrong with the baffle on this right side valve cover, and it's allowing oil to be sucked into the intake through that hose, if I'm not mistaken. And basically what'll happen is, there's insects in that. Climb up here, standing on the bumper here. But basically what'll happen is this tube back here, get back there, is sucking up oil. And if I go like that, there's a little bit of oily residue there. And the repair for this is taking off this valve cover, replacing it with the new one, and replacing 16 spark plugs. Now when I look under here, I only see 4 wire sets per side, and I see 4 wire sets, and I see 4 coils on each side. So for me, I'm counting 8 spark plugs. I don't know where the other 4 spark plugs would be. So they're saying 16 spark plugs. From what I've been reading, I guess there's some more spark plugs somewhere. I don't know. Maybe there's only 8, and I can only see 8. But so yeah, basically what has happened is, within the first 3,000 miles of driving, I had a oil consumption problem. I had to add oil. So right now, let's look at the mileage. Right now we have 10,000 miles in this truck. And I've had this truck since 2015, September 2015. Now, current day, we're in late June. We're late June 2017 right now. So I don't put a lot of miles on this truck. But basically what happened is, I got the truck, and actually, you know what? It was in like October, I think I got the truck. October 2015. And the first couple thousand miles, was just driving normal on the highway, back and forth to work in Dearborn. I also work at Ford and cut lawns. But back and forth to work to Dearborn. It's about a 25 minute drive. 2 days out of the week there's some stop and go traffic, and then the 2 days out of the week is pretty much straight shot. It didn't work. I didn't work it at all. I had another truck at the time for work, and I was just driving this as like a personal truck for the first 3,000 or so miles. And I had to plow for it, but it wasn't snowing. I took a couple of, at least, a couple of months before plowing, and I had it before the winter really hit. So I didn't really plow any snow within the break-in period. And the first snow we got, I used the truck to plow. Basically just driveways and whatnot. But we worked all day. We worked like 10 hours or so. And most of the time, during that day, the truck was literally idling because it was cold. I didn't want, I figured might as well let it run because it's, turning off and on all day. What's the point? But I let the truck run basically all day. And I was based. The reason is too, I was plowing out the driveways, and the guys would jump out and they would shovel the street. So basically, for me, it was no reason to turn the truck off because I was basically plowing all the driveways. So by the time I finished plowing, they jump back in the truck, and there's no reason to turn the truck off. But anyway, the truck ended up running for a lot of hours that day, and what happened is, the next day I went to check the oil, and there was barely any oil on the dipstick. So I didn't get any low oil lights or anything. I didn't lose oil pressure at all or anything, which would have been bad. But I did have low oil. So I went back to the dealer. I let them know what happened and asked them what I should do. And I don't feel like they gave me really good advice, because they were just like, oh, well, maybe it was because of break-in or whatever. They kind of brushed it under the rug. And I guess what they should have told me is that I should start a consumption test. Well, what ended up happening is I was like, you know what, maybe it's because I worked it so hard. Maybe it was just not, synthetic oil or whatever, and it burned off internally. I don't know. Maybe it's just burning off internally. So I just had them change the oil to a full synthetic, Motorcraft full synthetic oil. Had it all done. It was early. Honestly, I think it was only like 2,800 miles on the vehicle at the time when I got that first oil change. And I went on about my way for a couple more months, and with that full synthetic oil, man, it got worse. It burned more oil. It burned oil faster. So, it was just, I would go buy oil and put it in the truck to keep up with the oil consumption. So finally, over the summer last year, 2016, I told them, like, dude, you guys got to look at the truck, figure out what's wrong. It's under warranty. It's only got, like, at the time it only had like 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it, and they were kind of like, they were basically saying, oh, it's going to be a long wait, you can't get in. So finally, I like scheduled the time to get in. And I was a little bit upset because this truck works a lot during the summer, and it basically puts the entire business. I do lawn mowing. It puts the entire lawn mowing business in a bad place without a vehicle. But I sucked it up. I made arrangements for a rental vehicle, a rental car or a truck, or basically a rental car, and I was going to use my F-150, my personal truck, as a backup truck for work. And I was going to put this truck in a shop and hopefully get it fixed under warranty. And what ended up happening is, right when I went to drop off the truck, they told me that I can't get the truck looked at or fixed because I have to start an oil consumption test, and I have to prove that the truck is using oil like 3 or 4 times. So I didn't start it at that point. I waited a couple more weeks, and I went to a different dealership, and I started the oil consumption test. And I went back like one time, and confirmed the low oil. But I still need to like go back and follow up. When they did it, they changed the oil to like a conventional oil, and it has been burning off a little bit slower. It's still low, but it's a half a quart low, and I have to really look back at the miles. I think I wrote it down in the folder in here, but I'm not sure exactly how many miles it's been, but it's been like probably like 4 months. But we had a really slow winter, so I didn't put a lot of miles on it in the winter time. And the lawn mowing, it doesn't really rack up a ton of mileage either, because it's really a tight lawn mowing route, somewhat, where it's not that much travel or mileage gained in the lawn mowing route. But that's the update. I think I'm gonna like pressure the dealership where I bought this truck to maybe do something. Like, the whole consumption test process is a little bit annoying. It takes a lot of back and forth to the dealer, and I think that they allow for I don't know the exact spec, but I know they allow for some oil usage, and I think it's a pretty loose spec. It's something like a quart every 1,000, something ridiculous. But the EcoBoost doesn't burn any oil. My wife's EcoBoost doesn't burn any oil. I've never had a car that burned this much oil before, used or new. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I bought a used truck and it burned this much oil. But this one's brand new, and it literally it goes through oil. And in the long run, if it's really that problem with the intake and it never gets fixed, I'm looking at fouling out oil plug or fouling out the spark plugs. I'm looking at fouling out the exhaust valves, shortening the engine life, and basically, I got 10,000 miles. It's not horrible at this point. It's not horrible because, what have I burned? I burned a couple quarts of oil. At this point, it's only a couple of quarts of oil that's been burned. Maybe like probably less than 10 quarts of oil has been burnt through the motor. So at this point, at 10,000 miles, it's not a big deal. But 50, 60,000 miles, 100,000 miles, it could be a problem, and it's going to shorten the life of the motor, cause the exhaust valves to foul, probably affect the catalytic converter. Spark plugs won't last. Spark plugs nowadays last like 100,000 miles. These spark plugs, they probably at 10K need to be changed now. So, aside from that issue with the truck, everything else has been great. The towing's been great. One other thing, like very minor stuff is wrong with this truck. Aside from that, the speakers kind of suck, but this is only an XLT. Has like base level speakers. The Bluetooth radio is kind of iffy, but it does work, which I'm actually happy that it even has a Bluetooth radio. The tow haul button, sometimes it sticks when you press it in, but right now, oh, look at that. It kind of sticks like that. That's a little bit weird, but that's okay. It'll pop back out. We're in a dusty environment. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much, as far as things that are negative about the truck, that's pretty much it. But the towing is amazing. The 4-wheel drive, I didn't think I would like the 4-wheel drive because it uses those half shafts in the front instead of I'm used to using CV joints in the front, not half shafts, and I thought the half shafts in the front, with the solid axle, you have half shafts up front. I thought it was gonna be like going back to like 1940, but no, dude, this 4x4 with half shafts in the front is awesome, dude. It drives awesome. In the snow, when you're making, it's hard to make slight turns if it's dry pavement or whatever. But this 4x4 is great. Only thing is, compared to a Chevy, you can shift that Chevy into 4x4 on most models, just like on the fly at any speed. Whereas this truck, you got to be like going fairly slow speed. You got to make sure that, with any truck, you got to make sure that you're on a smooth pavement or not on ice and one of the wheels is free spinning. But in this truck, I mean, they say you can do it at 55, but dude, you can't do this. You can't shift this into 4-wheel drive at 55. You want to pretty much stop and maybe creep slowly and shift it into 4-wheel drive, because the locking hubs, they can be stripped out or something if you don't slow it down, shift it. But yeah, I love that you can just do it on the fly with the button. Hopefully that system will hold up for a while. Love that I have some steering wheel controls here. Yeah, overall it's a great truck. Even though it's just an XL, it's not an XLT or anything. Dude, I would drive this truck every day. I did for a while, and it was great. The 6.2, man, the performance on that thing is awesome, dude. It can tow. Dude, you don't feel my lawn equipment trailer. You don't feel the weight behind it at all. I'll show you guys what I'm pulling with it. But yeah, you don't feel the weight of that trailer at all behind this truck. It just does it no problem. Oh yeah, another thing. Why is there no heat shield? This is something I brought up. I don't know if I brought it up to my dealer. I think I brought it up to another dealer, and I asked why there's no heat shield, and they were just like, I don't care. I don't know, go to the dealer where you bought it. So I'll probably bring, oh, there's the old lady. I'll probably bring that up when I go into the dealer. Maybe I'll take the camera with me. Here's the plow we carry. This thing is heavy. We carry this off the front end. Thing weighs like 1,000 pounds. The axle's rated for it. Does it no problem. We got a throw a counterweight in the back and it's okay. So yeah, here's what we're pulling. You know, a F-250, honestly, it's overkill for just pulling this stuff. So, you know, this mower probably weighs close to 600. This one probably weighs like just over like it's probably close to 500 pounds. Couple leaf blowers. You don't need no 250 to pull this, but it's nice to have, dude. When you pull this is a 16-foot trailer. The trailer, believe it or not, only weighs, apparently, according to the sticker, it only weighs like 1,000 pounds, I guess. But yeah, this ain't hard to pull at all, you know, no problem. It's got the brake, it's got the trailer brake integrated. I need to actually grab these gas cans. Here's a little 30-inch push mower, like this thing. But I need to fill these up tonight. But yeah. How am I gonna do this? Oh, that one's full. What the? Dude. That gas can is full. I don't need to fill these up till tomorrow. What do we got here? I don't need to fill these up now. I was gonna fill these gas cans up, but let me see what we got going here. Tire's good. Gas is topped off, dude. I don't know why there's a sock here. I guess he can wipe his hands. I don't know. Full, dude. Wow. Man, I thought I had to run to the gas station. But yeah, I know. Shop is messy. I'm gonna get it together. That's why I'm putting it on camera, so I can have some accountability here, you know? Some people gonna comment, leave me some hate. They're gonna be like, get that goddamn garage cleaned up, you know? You know how it is. Haters gonna hate. You know? Man. So yeah, those are our trimmers. We just actually went and bought this trimmer. This beast. Whew. The Red Max, it's looking all beat up already. But this thing is killer. It's actually just like this one. Got this one last year. Very light. The thing only weighs 10 pounds, dude. That's the thing, man. This stuff is all commercial, but if you're just a homeowner, you know, 10 pounds, dude, you can save so much weight just carrying this thing. Dude, man. This one, I think it weighs like 10 pounds too. Yep. But it's not commercial, it's homeowner. Get a year out of it. Then you gotta basically trash them. But anyway, thank you for watching Donashan Lawn Care Hair Salon. The wife is gonna be posting some of her hair stuff, I guess, in a little bit. But as of right now, it's just me and my lawn care stuff, and I guess, you know, some truck stuff, you know. Got the F-250, and I got the F-150. And you know what? When the new F-150 come out, I'm about to go get that. Add it to the fleet. But anyway, thanks for watching, and leave a comment, like if you liked it. If you don't like it, press the thumb down button. Make sure you hit it twice, and go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Shit, we let it fly in. Get it! Get it! Get it! Corner! Did it fall in the sink?
I don't know.
leave a comment, and subscribe. Signing out.